Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I have another layout using the Marks & Company Studio Calico kit. This is the 19th layout using this kit and it took me 1 hour and 16 minutes to complete, and I am down to my scraps, and a lot of it is even using the second sheet of pattern paper. And those alphas were from my mind's eye. I have them quite used up. I have one frame left from my mind's eye and I want to use that up. That Dear Lizzie pattern paper is the second sheet. This one right here with the writing, it's also the second sheet, but I can't remember who makes it. Hopefully I'll show the branding strip. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to put it on a white background, a craft background, or a vanilla background. And I'm going to decide on the white, only because that pattern paper both have a white background to it. So I'm just going through my scraps, and there was a scrap of that pattern paper with the flowers, so I'm going to use that. This it just went by too fast. Picture is when we went apple picking. We were on our way to pay for the apples and the sun was going down, like it was, I don't know, like 5 o'clock, or anyway, the sun was starting to go down, so our shadows, it was casting a nice shadow behind us, and my daughter was like, "Oh, Mom, you should take a picture of our shadows." So I took a picture of our shadow, and it turned out really, really good. This is only a 4x6. I'd like to get it developed in 5x7 and do another layout with it. So now I'm just kind of taking, a lot of this was scraps, and I just kind of went around the photo and cut it down, and then I took that Dear Lizzie pattern paper and also cut it down. And none of it is actually around the photos. It's just kind of haphazardly here and there around the photo. And I'm going to use 2 pieces of that cloud pattern paper, and I'm going to put some at the top right and bottom left of the layout. And I want to use some doilies, but white on white, it didn't turn out real. It doesn't show as much as I wanted to. So I'm going to take out some Mr. Huey, and I'm also going to mist the background using the doily. And then the doily, of course, will be colored, because in order to get a background with it, it misted the doily. So I'm going to use both. I'm going to make it so it kind of has the shadow in the background of the doily and then the doily itself. Now this is the camera washi that I got at Michael's, so I'm going to use some of that up. And I'm trying to see if I did this layout about 4 or 5 days ago, so it's hard for me to remember exactly what I did on this layout. I think I have 2 or 3 other layouts done at this point. So I want that frame, I don't want it to be that you can see all the different pattern papers in behind, and I want to do my journaling there. So I'm gonna glue it to one of the 3x4 cards that it came with the kit, but it wasn't a 3x4 card. It was actually a pattern paper that had a whole bunch of 3x4s in the back, and I just cut it down. And then I just glued it on there, and now I'm going to start gluing the layers. And this is the point where I said, okay, like you can see the doilies, but you don't see them enough. So I'm going to glue them down, because what happens is if you don't and you try to spray it with Mr. Huey, it flies away and it's just a pain. So I just took like a teal. I'm just checking to see if there is 2 doilies. And I'm making sure that it sprayed okay. And it kind of went through the doily and kind of made a mess in the center, but most of that is going to be covered anyway. So I know I want to use that camera washi, and I don't know if I'm going to put the doilies on at this point or I'm going to wait a little bit because the doilies were still quite wet. So I'm still inside the, I think this is a Scraptastic box, and I'm just waiting for the cardstock to dry a little bit more. And now the doilies are dried enough that I can put them on the page and it's not going to transfer ink everywhere because they're so thin. It doesn't take too long to dry up. And actually they look really dark right now, but as they dry up, they become really much lighter. And I really like the tone of the colors on it. So now I've taken the box away and I'm going to start working on my mat again. And on that note, I just wanted to let everyone know, I don't know if it's just this mat or not, but I tried using nail polish remover on it and it was actually taking the blue away. I'm glad I just did a little spot. Anyway, it was actually taking the blue from the mat away. And so I don't know if I can just dab it on a piece of paper towel and then just do areas, but I think leaving it and soaking it will take away the coloring from. So I was on Simon Says Stamp and I found it's called Scrap Perfect Cleaner, I think it's called, and I watched a video on it and her mat was pretty filthy and it took everything away and it didn't take anything off the mat. So I ordered that from Simon Says Stamp. So we'll see. I've kind of put it on the back burner until I get that and try that because I don't want to wreck my mat because I really do like it. So now I'm just making sure that if I do any kind of stamping or anything like that, I'm just going to make sure I put something underneath or use my box when I spray mist. Now I'm going to take my Staedtler marker and I'm going to outline all the different layers. And I just double outline because I couldn't, do a straight line to save my life. So if it looks crooked, then like it was supposed to be crooked, then it's okay. And that just, I don't know why it reminded me of that, but I just thought of, if you're wondering now on my videos, it's sort of like this video right here will be 2000, it'll say Scrapbooking Process 176 Marks and Company SC Kit, and then in bracket it says 2014, and this will say 15 out of 240, is because my first layout of the year this year was a goals page, and my goal was to get 240 pages done this year. So instead of, at the beginning it was really easy to see how many pages I got done. But after a while, it's going to be hard to remember where I started, and I'd have to go back and count everything. So I figured if I put it right on the video, then it's a count that's just going to be right there on the video. So that's what that little coding is. It's just for me to keep track of how many process videos, or it's going to end up being process videos, I guess, that I get done this year, because I want to do a page or 240 pages in 2014. Now I'm going to use some of that washi, and it's from Michaels, and it's the Recollection brand, and I really, really like it. I think I'm going to have to go and get it again, because I can tell already that I'm going to be using it up quite a bit, because that film strip, I must have put it on, I don't know, 3 or 4 layouts already, because it's just the perfect size. Like it's really thin. It's about 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch. So it's just a perfect size. And then I use those cork cork stars that came in the kit. And some of them I mounted it on background paper just because I didn't want the back of the pattern paper to show. And at some point, I'm going to lose one of the little stars, cork stars, and I found it after the video was turned off, and so it's going to end up being on that top right corner of the layout. But it's only going to you're only going to see it on the pictures that I take at the very, very end, because I only found it after the camera was off and I was putting everything away. Because what I try to do is every time I finish a page, I try to clean off my desk and start fresh. Because otherwise I get overwhelmed with everything that's on the desk, and it makes me lose focus more than anything. So I'd rather just clean it up. It takes 10 minutes in between layouts, and then I move on to the next layout. I'm going to use one of those labels that I had cut in half and put at the top of the layout. I'm going to put it inside that frame, so my journaling is going to kind of hug that frame. And just to add a little bit of that blue in that area, in that cluster. So I added a label to each cluster, and then I'm going to add some film strip and also some camera. And then with those My Mind's Eye letter, I spelled the word stand. And then again, I want to use some of those asterisks, but the blue was totally off with the color that I wanted on this page. So I'm going to use a Copic marker and change the color, and then I used a camera chipboard that came from the cut and paste collection from Amy Tangerine. And then I'm going to color in those chipboard. I'm just trying to find which color of Copic was going to coordinate with the page the best. And I mean, once you color with the Copic, it's permanent. Because they're alcohol base, you can color on plastic, on metal, anything at all. The only thing that I wouldn't suggest is to color in your stamps, like directly on the stamp set, because then that'll wreck your stamp set. But you can color in images and it blends. Like on a couple layouts ago, I did it on an epoxy sticker, and I did it with a pink and a red, and just to tone down the red. And then I made it blotchy so it looked like the other, the rest of that epoxy sticker. Now, same thing with these enamel dots. It was just the wrong tone of blue, so I'm going to take that exact same Copic marker and color it in. And then the battery died, so then I had to wait for the battery to charge up again. And now I'm going to start gluing everything down. So on this layout, I used the rest of, like I said, the rest of those frames. They're all gone. And what I started doing is I started writing down a little list, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've completely used up. There's nothing left. And those gold arrows, they're also all gone. I've used up the rest of those cork stickers. There was stars, 2 sizes of stars, 2 sizes of hearts, and they're all used up. They're all gone. And what else? And then those My Mind's Eye stickers. There's not letter stickers. There's not too much of those left. And I'm using those chipboard asterisks really well too. And I was going to stop at 20, and in about an hour, so I'm going to finish page 21. And I already have papers set for page 22. And the way I look at it, like, yeah, I could stop and move on, but the point is to get stuff scrapped. So whether I do it with this kit or another kit, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I can't wait to move on to the next. But it seems that when I get to the end is when I get motivated that I want to do one more and one more and one more. And I think I just get to know the pattern paper so much that then I can start seeing the combinations of the pattern paper a whole lot more, and it comes together a whole lot faster. So I know I want to use that ampersand stamp that came in this month's kit, and I'm going to try and stamp it directly on the pattern paper, and I'm going to try it with 2 different inks, I'm going to do the Tide Pool, and I think it's called Mint Green maybe, from Hero Arts, and both of them don't stand out on the page. So then I'm going to take that last tag that came in this month's kit, and I'm going to stamp it on that eventually. So right now I just have a piece of white cardstock, and I'm just trying out the different colors, and I start off with the mint green, and it just doesn't stand out enough. And that ink too, like, it's really darker the first time you stamp, when you first stamp it, and then it really has a nice tone when you're done. So you really wouldn't have been able to see it. So I'm going to do in Tide Pool Blue, and you still can't see it, not well enough. So the title is going to be We Stand Together and Love, and that love is actually a paper clip that I got from my Freckled Fawn kit. I think it was a couple of months ago. So this is where I decide, no, I'm just going to use a tag, and I'm just going to stamp it on that, and then I'm just going to cut off the paper clip part of it so that I can just glue it directly on the tag, because the paper clip was going the wrong way. And I really want to use that paper clip, but it would have worked better at the left side of the page, because otherwise the word love would have been upside down if I used the paper clip. So I considered using a doily under that part too, and I just decided against it. Only it was total laziness, because I didn't feel like inking it, because I remembered, oh yeah, it's in blue, so I'd have to ink it again. So I just said, I don't need a doily there. So I kind of tried it out at the end of the at the end of the tag, so that I could see how it would look, and then I'm just going to cut it down, because the tag was too long. And that way here I'm going to stamp it again, and see, I wanted the tag, that's what the problem was, I wanted the tag to fit under the photo, but if I put the clip on, then the tag, you could really tell that it was cut off, and I didn't want that. So that's why I cut the paper clip, so that I could just glue it over top and kind of hide the tag underneath the photo. So I'm going to stamp it one more time, and I decide to go with the mint green, and then I'm just going to add some twine to the end of that tag. I just realized right now I probably should have outlined that tag, but once I find a page is done, I rarely go back and fix it. I just figure it is what it is, and it's going to stay the way it is. So this is going to pretty much finish the page. I'm just going to glue it down, and then I'm going to use my quick grip from Beacon, and it's great for gluing down some metal and anything that is hard to get it to glue down on paper. The only thing is when you open that cap, it just oozes out, so you really have to be careful not to be over your photo. And now I'm going to place a couple of word stickers. I'm going to choose unique, because every family's unique, every child is unique. And then at the top there I put special, and then I put memorable next to that frame. And I believe I already put my asterisk, so now I'm going to show you a few close-ups and then a few still pictures. And then again, I just kind of take really close-ups of each cluster, so you can see all the layering between the cork and the arrows and the washi tape and the enamel dots. So that's it. The page is done. So thanks for watching. Bye.